Welcome to the Sage Advice Podcast, transforming the way people think and work so their organizations can thrive. Well, hi everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Ed Kless, and today's episode is cut from another podcast of which I am the co-host, The Soul of Enterprise, which is also sponsored by Sage. The Soul of Enterprise is dedicated to belief that business has a spiritual, though not necessarily religious, component. I hope you enjoy this excerpt. If you do, please visit www.thesoulofenterprise.com for more.
Right. I think a lot of doctors are really risk-averse people, and they want to make the best decision all of the time. And so you're trained in medical school and residency to make the perfect decision for your patients every time, and there's no tolerance for mistakes. So that ability to make mistakes, make errors, and move forward is really there's no opportunity for doctors to learn like that. It's more like you kind of leave no stone unturned and you read as much as you can to make the perfect decision. But in business, if you want to be successful, you have to make a lot of decisions quickly. You have to make a lot of mistakes quickly and learn from those mistakes. And so I say, to sum all that up, I say it's not the decisions, it's the decisiveness. If you're trying to determine between one electronic medical record and another, they're both probably pretty good. Make a good decision and move on. And if you're 100% sure on something, you've waited too long and probably squandered an opportunity.
Yeah, I've learned something similar, especially with consulting, is like when you're 80% ready, you go ahead and launch. The other 20%, you can do course corrections to improve.
Yeah, exactly.
So I want to ask you something on a very personal note, but you write this in the book and I thought this was very interesting, that you had to get over your personal discomfort with money. And I wanted to explore this with you because you grew up with some negative beliefs around it. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil, which of course is. And I love how people quote that because they're missing the first part, which is love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a big difference there. Why talk about that struggle? I'm really interested in that part of your life.
Yeah, I think that a lot of doctors go into medicine to be altruistic and give back. And, I certainly grew up around some negative beliefs, in church. Certain family members said negative things about money, and that kind of sticks with you. And I think that it took me a while, and it took me reading books by successful business people to understand that money is a tool, just like a stethoscope is a tool, and it's not inherently good or bad. It's what you do with that tool that makes the difference. And so I think a lot of doctors struggle with this as well. They would feel greedy, handling money. Like, if you have a successful DPC practice with 3 physicians, you're likely handling $1 million in revenue every year. And that might scare some doctors. So I wanted to include that in the book because I know that's a barrier for some doctors that I've consulted with. I know it's a barrier for medical students that I went through school with. I know it was a barrier for residents I was in residency with. They didn't want to negotiate their contract for more money because they felt, dirty about it, or it didn't feel right. They should just be grateful with the money that they were offered and move on from there. And I think that I wanted to include that in the book to help other physicians through this issue and also help myself through these issues around money.
Yeah, and money is just the measuring stick, and one way to put it is your bank account is an indicator of the good you've done first, because people give you money because you're doing good things for them. That's the medium of exchange. It's not bad or good. It's just the medium.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. And I like it. I like looking at it as a tool. I kind of include this in the book. It's like, if you want to end homelessness in your community or allay homelessness in your community, would you be more successful with $10 or with $1 million? And I kind of approach my patient care in that way. More money allows me to buy the best tools and equipment, which allows me to deliver the best care for my patients.
That's right. The Good Samaritan had to have the money to pay the innkeeper to be in charge of the person that he was helping.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
For more sage advice, visit and subscribe at sageadvicepodcast.com.